everybody. Welcome back to our place. We are super excited to have Lucia Rios with us today. She has been with Salesforce for 3 years and is a manager at the Workforce Navigators Program, which is a super awesome program. She's going to tell you more about it as we learn more about employment in the disability community. So, Lucia, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell
Um,
us a little bit about you before we jump into the awesome
yeah,
program.
yeah, I am a person with a disability. I use a wheelchair as my main mobility. So I was born with spina bifida. So, disability has always been a part of my life from birth to now. So I think that always excited to connect with individuals with disabilities, but also the program that we have at Salesforce with Workforce Navigators is really near and dear to my heart because I definitely understand some of the things a person with a disability goes through when navigating, getting skilled up, when navigating the workforce, and also you know, under connecting with other individuals, not only with disabilities but without disabilities. So
Yeah.
when I talk about this program, I talk that it's very like it's really just something I resonates with me in a deeper way,
It's your
and
baby.
so it is my baby, and so I like to just let people know that because I've worked in the disability field for over 20 years. And so, started out at nonprofit work, working for a local center for independent living, working on accessibility, physical and programmatic accessibility, and then also working with individuals with a disability, high school, and then young adults as they're navigating getting out of high school and looking
Yeah.
at skills that they want to learn or whether they want to go right to the workforce or if they want to go to college, advocacy, all that. So, you know, um, yeah, so I think so that is really kind of my background and how I really got into the field. It was by chance, just because I think people think automatically just because you have a disability, you want to be involved in that, that work, and not saying that that's a bad thing, but for me, it was really navigating an inaccessible campus in a wheelchair that really highlighted that there are some needs that are not being met for the disability community,
Yeah.
not only physical access but even in school as well. And so then also you know coming out of college and going into the workforce. So I just say, like, I didn't find my passion found me. And so I just love, like, being able to connect others with resources and opportunities because I was in that space at one point as
Yeah.
well. So with a Workforce Navigators program, I say I have like a dream job just because, our program is geared toward individuals with disabilities who are looking at, you know, um, career development, who are looking at skilling up, who are looking at wanting to find not just employment, but a career that they want to grow within. And I think sometimes, when I've noticed, um, sometimes the individuals with disabilities are, oh, we need a job, well, we'll place them here, and that's it, you know, and not necessarily looking at long term career, what they might like, or growing within the career. And so I think that with our program, Workforce Navigators, we're looking at not just like getting the job, but also what are skills that you want to develop and how to grow within that in the company. So we're looking at Salesforce, we're looking at roles within the ecosystem. So it's not just at the company, but also anyone and everyone organization that utilizes Salesforce.
Yeah. Which is
Many
like
companies.
everyone. I used to
Yeah,
work at Salesforce. It's pretty much like everyone.
yeah, it is. Yeah, and not only, to be skilled, not only to be trained as like, on the product, but also be the end user, just exploring what that means, what the company does, and all the jobs within it and outside of it as well. And
Yeah.
so, with our program, we do offer opportunities for individuals who want specific training to become, they call it Salesforce certified. So, whether that's with being an admin, building the platform from the ground up to, um, marketing to business analysts to the big hot one is AI right now as well, artificial intelligence. And so we, provide um, training resources, whether that's through our scholarship or whether that's with our partner organizations as well. With that, you know, testing, we don't want um, money to be the barrier of why you're not skilling up as
Right.
well.
Yep.
And so that's why some of these opportunities you can get, but maybe it costs something. So that's why we have our scholarship. Or maybe, a $200 test is, going to be hard to take, if you don't have some financial income. So that's where we can come in and people can get, you know, um, certification vouchers so that way they can take tests if they're ready, all that. And then also, we have our Workforce Navigators, our mentorship program, which I was actually hired in to create that. And
And
so,
that's what I want to, I think that's one of the coolest parts
yep.
about the whole thing. So I want to, because one thing when we're talking about working and individuals in the disability community and stuff, people might not even know about these opportunities. We've talked to a lot, you and I have talked about a lot of adults that are aging into that employment age think that
Mhm.
they're automatically written off because they have a disability and they might not know about their options. So talk about more in depth, kind of like starting from the ground up, the mentorship program and what that looks like.
Yep. So our mentorship program is, it is, there are different areas to get involved in it. But first of all, mentorship is very big. I think in general, I think we can learn a lot from an individual who has prior experience, who is a professional working in the culture. Um, and so that's why I think this program is really exciting. So what it is it's a 3 month program where individuals who with disabilities, come career seekers with disabilities, are looking at exploring what Salesforce is, as far as the company, what opportunities there are, and they so it's that's the way. And then also individuals who maybe have like been studying for Salesforce, are certified, and they're like, I want, what's the next step? How do I, get a role within the ecosystem? And then those that are like studying for certifications, maybe they identified that they are looking at, like they want to study to become an AI, associate or an admin, then they can then, work with a mentor in that way too. So there's a lot. It's a 3 month program. It's online learning, but it's also workshops too. And then also that one on one match with a Salesforce employee who will then work with them for 3 months. There is on their own goals. So you create your own goals. So what do you want to work on within the 3 months?
Yep.
And then, but there are some things too that we put into the program. So updating your resume, putting together a resume. Sometimes we have individuals that haven't, have some volunteer work experience, but they've never put it down
Yeah,
on
especially if they're
paper.
just getting started.
Yep. So we go through resume writing, putting together your resume, having it looked over. We go through LinkedIn as well. We also go through talking about disability disclosure and also about accommodations. Sometimes individuals, especially those with invisible disabilities, are not sure if they should disclose right away, or if they shouldn't, or if they
Yeah.
need to disclose. Finding out what is that language and what that language is, how companies use that language as well. But also, maybe you will need an accommodation. How do you ask for one? What does that look like? Identifying what is an accommodation. And I noticed that, and this is what I noticed too, is that people coming out of high school and even college, they've gotten received accommodations in school, but they don't really recognize, they don't use the word accommodation.
Hmm.
They use, oh, they're helping you. I got longer test time, or I get my, I had my books in my locker and books at home, or I get to have extra, I get to have someone, write down my notes, things like that. And so translating that into the working world is not always, it doesn't always click right away.
Especially if the parents were managing all of
Yes,
that for them. Because
yes,
and that's one of the things too that we really are trying to educate parents on. And so, parents, if you're watching this, these are great skills for your child to learn in independence.
yes.
And as they are transitioning out of high school, there are opportunities to them. Let them fly and
Yep.
learn the independent skills. And I think, like, again, that's important because
Yep.
people don't know the verbiage because they're not always a part of the conversation at that point.
Exactly. And that's something I noticed in my work with youth and those transitioning out of high school and college is, once you if you do go on to college, you're gonna have to ask for your own accommodations. I mean, mom and dad are not, I mean, they could help out, but pretty much, I mean, it's expected that you're gonna speak for yourself as
Yeah.
well, maybe get some guidance from others. Um, but um I think that's important, especially in the work world, that it's going to be up to you to identify or also work with the accommodations team on what accommodations I might need, if any. So anyway, that's a whole discussion. And we looked through like what are some reasonable accommodations, looking at like your what the job description is and based on your skills. And also would you need potentially an accommodation? You don't know. Sometimes you don't
Hmm.
know till you start the job. And then it's like,
Right.
how can you ask? So we also go through interviewing, and especially during the interview, do you disclose? Do you not? For me, I have a very physical disability. So that was something that it's like elephant in the room. I had to like, it's there. It's like that they're wondering, like, what happened to her? But you can't necessarily, it's illegal to ask, you know,
Right.
but that and unfortunately, sometimes there are stereotypes. People have stereotypes. But how do you successfully feel confident to talk about the elephant in the room according into also the job description of what you can do and how you can do it as well. So
Yeah.
those are things that we talk about. But also in the interview, there's some people that don't disclose right away, and that's fine too. You know, but so that there's all these different things, and so I think that's with one-on-one mentoring and matching. But you can talk about your own individual things. So that, and we do mock interviews as well. And so sometimes that's scary. I mean, it is like just to get into Salesforce, I had 6 interviews. And so they were all virtual. So, to make sure, like, especially if you're looking at remote positions, you're going to have to make sure that everything is set up for you too in the background. Like, I love your background, Megan.
This is
It's
all
very nice,
virtual
virtual
AI.
background. But so things like you have to make sure your internet's working. You have to make sure, like,
Yeah.
like stuff is inappropriate stuff's not in the background. And so those little things. Um, but how do you interview? So we do go through virtual. You will in the program be matched up with someone to interview you. And I have a scenario and everything. And then you get feedback, positive feedback too, like on what you can do better and also what's working. And
Yeah.
sometimes just getting that confidence to talk to someone, who's not like mom or dad or a doctor or someone else, but also someone in who's a professional as well.
Yeah.
And then we do. Oh, do you
Let
have
me
some?
ask one question
Yeah,
really quick. Tell me the age, like what is the minimum age to apply for the program?
I would say 18.
Okay. Because
We
we have some people, this is what I think it's important to tie it back to. So like uh individuals who are looking at post-secondary education, those programs are there's not enough of those programs today, and hopefully that changes, but that makes them extremely competitive.
yeah,
And one of those things, we've done some interviews with them, is what have you done from work experience, what have you done from like to gain the independent skills and stuff like that. And some people are placed on waiting lists why they're having to wait for those programs, and something like this, especially if you're interested in learning more about technology and all of
mhm,
that, could be such a perfect fit
yep,
to set them up for success as they transition into those programs. And so I wanted to kind of gauge if it's something you could do out of high school, if you are waiting
yep.
until you're after college and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question too. We have individuals coming from all walks of life. We have individuals coming to participate in our mentorship program who are changing careers. We have some that are like right out of college and still, looking for a job, not sure what they want to do. But that mentorship piece, that making sure your whole like package is together,
Yeah.
that's important. We have individuals that want to network and say, like, I just want to connect and network with someone. That's fine too. I think, and also we have individuals who acquire disabilities and that they've had to leave other jobs, and now they're skilling up and actually looking at other types of employment. And so I think, we don't place people in jobs. We're not a job placement, you know, program, but we have a lot of resources, and also we've connected with other places to give you those opportunities. And so we really want you to be prepared, to be confident, and to be able to go out to those opportunities as well. So I think, like, yeah, if you are like, so we've had a couple of scenarios. So um, one, we have an individual who has a college degree and is still like not sure what they want to do. So they were matched up with a mentor, and they really like our Trailhead, our online platform, and they're gaining some just soft skills on that as well. And then also they talk about what is the salary, you know, and also that, like, well, you live with mom and dad right now, but what about living by yourself one day? How much are you going to need to make? And it's those types of things. I know. So though that's something that they're working on. Those are the goals that they put themselves. We have others who are like, I just want to. I have these skills. I did all this training, have these skills. Now I don't know how to look for a job. What
Yeah.
do I do? And so we walk through that process. And so maybe those are goals. I want to apply to 2 positions within 3 months, and really hone in and look at the job descriptions and all that stuff. So that's maybe something that they want to do. So it really varies. There's some that want to work on goals. Like, I just want to, work more on like time management. So when I'm in a job, I like, you know, am there on time. I know what to do,
Don't we
all that.
all? I
I know
say
we all
there's
do.
some things that
Yeah.
are so similar between the disability community
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
individuals
Yes.
without disabilities that we could benefit
Exactly.
from.
Yeah. So I think if you are looking also at, like I said before, Salesforce, there are many companies, nonprofits, for profits, small businesses, large businesses that use the product. And so even before I joined Salesforce, I worked at a nonprofit that we used the product as our, and it's customer relationship management um, software come in the cloud. And so we used it as our database for our customers. So I was what they call an end user. So I'm the one that plugging in the information,
Yeah.
putting it together, and then maybe having a report once or twice. But that's how I got familiar with the product. And so, there's a lot of that where maybe you have to use that's what their database that they're using. So you have to use it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think it's important to reference this too. Salesforce is a technology, but you don't necessarily have to be super technical
No,
to one, learn about the technology or to be a part of this program. I mean,
exactly.
I am not a very technical person.
I am not either.
And you work for Salesforce? We survived.
Yes, yes.
So for
Yeah.
anyone thinking, oh, and stuff, it's kind of like if you have social media, you know how to work an iPhone,
Hmm.
you're probably about there for what you
Yeah.
for what
Yeah.
you're not gonna
I
have to
mean,
like code unless you want to, but
well, and then I actually have, because right now we're accepting applications for a mentorship program.
mhm,
And so for a spring cohort. And so I was talking to the mentee. I call him a mentee's workforce navigator. Anyone that's in our program is a workforce navigator.
yeah,
I was talking to this individual last night, and I was like, how did you get involved? Because I get to know the individuals, because our program is still, we have maybe per cohort, maybe 25 to 30 per cohort, which is awesome.
yeah.
Um, and not saying we don't want to grow, but it's just it's nice because you still can connect with each individual on their own individual goals too. And so I was talking to this individual last night, and I said, "So, how did you become involved in Salesforce?" Because they went through our scholarship program, and but they have a full time job, single mother, full time job, and she said, well, my company, the business I work for, uses Salesforce. And so I just started playing around with it. No one else knew how to use it really. And I started playing around with it. I'm like, I want to learn more. She's like, so I saw this opportunity to get training. I took the training, which was like through our scholarship, which is about a $3,000 scholarship, learned how to use like this product 10, I think it was like less than 10 weeks, passed the exam. And they're like, now I can go back to my employer and say, hey, I got these, I know how to use this product. I got these skills, that type of thing. And I said, maybe you and your mentor can work on, like how to maybe negotiate a new position now
Yeah.
that you have some of this experience. And also you like went out of your way to learn this, but also you have like hands-on experience already. And then, that type of thing. So those are the types of things. Or like now you are ready for like another company, maybe. I don't know. But
You'd be
even if you're,
like, I'm done.
yeah,
Greater opportunities ahead.
yeah, but part of this person was like, yeah, I like the company I'm working for, but I'm the one who showed the initiative, and I'm like, that's awesome. She's like, but I wouldn't know how to approach my company. I would like what how to like share this, and so I was like, well, this is how you and your mentor can work together.
Yeah, and I think too, going back to, there's so many things that hold people back from getting into the workforce in the disability community because they don't know how to have the hard conversations.
Yes.
And so I think learning those skills is such a huge component, whether it be interviews, questions about,
Yep.
hey, how to address your
Yep.
disability, like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
What
and
is the application process like?
yep. So the application process is pretty easy. So what it is we have our website, which I think you have. Megan has the website.
Yeah, I'll be able to link
Workforce
it and send it
Navigators.
out to, yeah.
So, so if you go on there, you got to go into it's on the right, yeah, right hand side. It's a sign up. It's a sign up. So what you'd want to do is you'd sign up, um, and it's just like it asks you questions like, what's your name, who referred you, what do you want to, what would you like to? Are you a job seeker? That type of thing. And then you're in our org. Okay, so then you sign up, and then you have like an account name, you have password, and then in that account you can go and you can sign up for mentorship. So you would click on the mentorship application. It comes up on the dashboard. Sign up for a mentor. Also, I would encourage you to sign up for Trailhead as well, which is Salesforce's online learning platform. So go onto there, create a username, create a password, because we'll want to know that as well. But also just like look around Trailhead. We use it as an employee. I use it all the time as well to learn. Also, some of our homework, we kind of have homework assignments with the mentorship, which it's not like you won't get like marked down or anything, but it's just like it helps you that some modules that you can go and start to learn. So there's like a
Yeah,
resume
and
writing module.
explore and all that stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, resume writing module. There's an interviewing one. So I mean, so it's like really fun too. There's like a hiking theme, outdoorsy theme, and we have our mascots who are all like animals. Um, so that's
Salesforce
what
loves their mascots. I remember that.
love the mascots. So that's something that's how you would start. Creating a Trailhead account, create an account with us on our Workforce Navigators website, and then they ask you questions about the mentor. So when you apply to mentorship, they'll ask your name, why you're interested in mentorship, if you've had training, if not, do you want training? Are you exploring the ecosystem? I call it. And then you click, you know, send, and then it comes to me. And then I look over each application. If I have questions, I reach out to you individually. And then I decide like, okay, well, based on like your I mean, I would say like when you answer the questions, like why do you want a mentor? Don't just say because it will be fun. But really truly
Even though
think,
it will,
yes,
put a little more color
it
to
will
it.
be fun. But think about it. If you had access to one individual for 3 months, someone who understands disability, someone who's a professional who wants to help you out,
Yeah.
like they want you, what do you need from them? What would you want that to look like? Is it, what would you want that to look like? And so I think put that out there because then that helps me as they look like for like, are you committed? Are you interested? And also how I can match you with the right mentor because I do
Yeah.
all the matching as well. And I really want the best fit for you. And so that's why it's good when I have the conversations with individuals. So I try to get to know each mentee through the orientation, or if they reach out to me individually, have a conversation. So that way I can, because I know a lot of our mentors already. And so I'm kind of like this would be a good person for you.
So it's not like an extensive interview
No, no,
process. They don't have to do like you did, where they're interviewing six
no, 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 no,
times.
no, no.
It's okay if your background's not fantastic,
Yep.
all those things at first.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
mean, you,
not
yep,
daunting. It's not
no.
daunting.
And you just have to be committed. I mean, I do ask someone like, it's a 3 month commitment, and a mentor, you will arrange your mentor and you will arrange like how often you meet. So some people meet every week for 30 minutes. And that's pretty cool, I think. Some people don't meet that much. They're like
Yeah.
once a month, maybe for 2 hours, an hour or two, whatever, or email communication. So you and your mentee decide, but it's a commitment. So if, I think one of the things is, to know it's 3 month commitment. Um, I mean, it's free. It's a virtual program, so everything's going to be virtual. It's a free program. I mean, and then but we want you. What happens sometimes is um, someone will join and maybe they have so much going on in their life that it becomes difficult to maintain contact with their mentor. Then I have a mentor like, what happened to them? Are they okay? Did I offend them? Oh my God. And so I'm like, no, let's see. So it's okay if it becomes overwhelming and you're like, I can't do it this time. It doesn't mean that you're ineligible forever for the program. You're not.
Yeah.
I get it. They get it. We ask the mentors to carve out their time too. So they know that this is a commitment as well.
Yeah.
So they're not just going to ghost you. You're not going to, we hope you don't ghost them. That does happen, but communicate, communicate. And I think
One of the
that's what,
skills you learn in the program.
yeah, it's like, hello, are you there? Yeah. So, because otherwise and also they give up their time too.
Yeah,
They're
that's right.
volunteering for this. And so, and I think they do put their heart and soul. I know, and I've gotten this from both ends, mentors. And I was just talking to one today, and he's like one of our superstar mentors, and he's doing it for like the fourth time. Each time he does it, and he's like, and I said thank you, and he's like, I've gotten so much out of this. He said, just that one-on-one match, and just knowing that, you're helping them connect and to plant a seed in them to be able to like do what they want to do, and I've gotten the same thing from mentees that they're like just the one-on-one and just that person who's like your cheerleader, you
Yeah.
know. And I think sometimes you can have those hard conversations too. I know um if they don't have the answer right away, that's fine. They also the mentors also are resources for each other as well. So we've had matches where one mentee wanted to meet people on the other guy's team, so they're like he met the whole team.
Joined a
And
team call. I love that.
yeah, so I mean, so just it's like you make what you want of it, and most times, they still connect afterward. Just today, like the mentor said, I need to reach out to his first mentor. He said, mentee, because he's like, I wonder what he's up to now. But they also celebrate your successes,
Yeah.
so we celebrate that. So like, oh, so and so got a job, or oh, so and so passed a training, or so and so created a YouTube channel to talk about their experiences. So there's a lot of support on both ends.
Yeah.
Now, as far as for the mentees, so the program participants, we do have social hours as well, um, where and it's so the mentees can come together. Now, we work with people who have a variety of disabilities as well
Hmm.
in all walks of life, and it's really fun when we can all connect. And usually, there's giveaways, there's a topic of conversation, how the match is going, or if you have questions, or also it's been a resource for people to give other resources to each other.
Yeah.
You know, and so, just like a fun way to connect. And then we also have our guest speaker series, where it's another where there's someone, monthly you can come and they talk about a certain topic, and then you can engage with them and with others. And so, we really try to build a camaraderie. We have a LinkedIn page as well. And so a lot of times Workforce Navigators like meeting each other as well. So, so we are building that camaraderie, especially as job seekers, um, as well. So
Yeah. Well, as somebody who was a part of the organization, it really does. Such a cool company to be a part of, and it can really change your life. I mean, it's a top tier technology company that provides fantastic hands-on experience, but there's just so many other benefits to this program. You guys are so unique and really leading the charge in programs for the disability community. So I'm excited to hear, more about how it grows, and we're gonna hopefully send some people over if you're interested. Again, I'll get it you linked and get you connected. We're gonna hopefully be doing some events possibly, so stay tuned for that. And Lucia, thank you so much for sharing about your experience and all about the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Megan. I'm excited
I know, me
about our
too.
partnership.
All right, guys, we will see you next time, and thanks for joining our place.